Welcome to the Money Watch Show. It's Sunday, October 5th, and we are here talking about your financial life and answering your questions. Of course, every now and again, I like to bring on a guest who really tries to hit home a lot of the issues that we discuss here with you, but it's kind of cool because I get an outside expert to join us. That's what's happening today. So if you didn't listen to yesterday's show yet, go do that. Our guest is Jana Davis. She's a certified financial planner. She's a partner at Abacus Wealth, a big financial planning firm on the West Coast. And we're continuing our conversation today about the financial planning business and client relationships. And we're going to start this conversation. Again, go to listen to yesterday's before you get into today's. And we are going to talk about the F word. Stay tuned. Don't worry, the F word is fiduciary in my world, so you don't need to hide the kids or anything. Okay, here is part 2 of our conversation with Jana Davis. You know, fiduciary, which means that the financial professional has to put you, the client's interests or the prospect's interest before his or her own, and also the company's. But there are a lot of fiduciaries out there who still give lousy advice. What explains that?
What explains that is the world is imperfect.
Oh, darn it.
You know, I can put my initials behind my name, but that doesn't really mean anything, but I have an education.
Right.
I mean, that's why it's about trust. It's about trust. You know, not every financial advice. We're not perfect, though, by the way. I learn just as much from my clients as they do me, but usually it's more about life, as I tend to have. I have 5 clients that are over 95 at the moment. Wow. 2 of them on hospice. I plan to be there till the very end. You know, like some of the things, I was a do-it-yourselfer. I get it. The person that found me because of you is a do-it-yourselfer, and she's holding on to it so tight. And as hard as it is for me to see all the other things we could be doing long-term, I'm letting her fly.
Yeah.
You know, I'm letting her figure it out. But when I think about one of the big ones, even for my clients, as they really get to the paradigm shift, as they really enter work optional life, I refuse to call it retirement. It's too scary for everyone.
Right. I like work optional. I'm stealing that. Hold on. I got to make sure I read it. Work optional. Okay, continue. Yeah.
So as they get to, we've been planning for them, as they get to that work optional life, they're towing into life beyond the you know, punching the clock. One of the first questions I get is, where's the money going to come from? And at first I roll my eyes like, have you been listening to me for 10 years? And then I'm like, I get it. That fear takes over, that scarcity mindset. But that's why I'm there for them. I'm like, we're going to take a little here, a little here, a little here, because that's how it's tax smart. And so basically what I've started to say to clients as they enter work optional, AKA retirement world, is congratulations, you're hired. I will be sending you your paycheck. Now go have fun.
Yeah. Exactly. And don't spend this period of time perseverating over your money when I have proved to you 12 different times that you're fine. I mean, I guess that's just, again, that's the fear. And often I'll hear from people where one person in the couple feels convinced, the other one doesn't. I also think that is an incredibly important moment to actually talk to somebody who is impartial, who can look you in the eye and look your partner in the eye and say, we got you. You guys have done all the hard work. All we're going to do is kind of just churn through this and spit it back out to you. You've created this wealth. We haven't. And that's important. It's very easy for me to be cavalier about, money management is just a commodity. But this part is not. The money management is a commodity that is well taken care of by others who do it better than I do. I'll just say that. And I would then say that the most important thing is to create a plan that is adaptable, that can live and breathe and change as you change and as circumstances change. Have you ever had a client interaction where you've laid out the work optional life, but they're unconvinced?
All of the time.
How do you overcome that?
I am big on our money stories. I'm big on, the emotional. I don't care if you have $5 or $5 million, you have an issue with money. Because you're either an overspender, an oversaver, you have a scarcity mindset, or you're one of those rock stars that thinks it will all just work out in the end. I have them all. And my job is to understand what triggers them so that I can keep them in their seat, so that I can
Yeah.
help them understand how to get where they want to go. And some of them don't even know where they want to go. That's fine. I'll figure it out with them.
Well, that's why, I mean, it's like saying
Behavioral
to,
finance, Jill, right? Behavioral
yeah.
finance.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because it's why, if you talk to a shrink and they're like, "What brings you in?" and you're like, "I don't know. Like, I'm here. Maybe something happened. Maybe I'm getting divorced. Maybe I got an issue with my parent, whatever." But a great shrink will draw out of you why you're there. You're
Yeah.
there. You showed up. Someone got into your office. Someone is now, the role is not somebody who figures out, how do I separate you from this account and bring it here to me? It is to say, what is it that you hope to accomplish? What do you want to do? I think that people wish that there was some master checklist that they could go through without feeling the emotions associated with money. And I think that's what is misunderstood about this entire topic, that people cannot quite figure out this idea that, as you say, we come with our own money stories. I mean, I wrote a book about that. That's why I wrote the first book, which is called The Dumb Things Smart People Do with Their Money. Not because they're dumb and not because someone just sold you something, but often because they cannot understand the emotional aspect of what we are calling financial planning. And to some extent, Jana, that's what you do. It's like, yeah, you have all the training in the world, but your role is definitely to sit in the seat and help guide your clients, right?
Oh, I mean, Jill, what I say is that they don't teach you this in CFP school. Not that there's
Nope.
anything as a CFP school, but they don't teach you the therapy side of it. And what I love about your podcast and your books are that you just smack it down to the simple, right? You're like, no apologies here. This, right?
Yep.
And that we have to cut through it to get to where we want to go, but you've got to pause. I've got to pause with people and I've got to get there. Even when I have the eye roll from one of the spouses, like, just tell me the beta and the risk, where I'm at risk. Like, I'm still going to pause. Where are we
Mm-hmm.
coming from? Because I can give you all the advice in the world about how to save, but then learn that you're an oversaver as it is, right?
Yep.
Now I've just really led you in the wrong direction. But don't let me disrespect my traders and my investment department that does all the hard work. Because you know what my traders are doing? They're looking, when the market takes a dump for a day, we're looking to, loss harvest. We're looking to constantly rebalance when international assets. So don't let me step too far away from the importance of the investments, because that's why we have full-time jobs, is the little things you don't see behind the scenes, where we are, we're selling high, buying low because we're in a rebalance mindset,
Mm-hmm.
where we react to a market drop to know, what we can loss harvest for future. There's still a lot of pretty cool stuff that goes on there too.
That's true. And, listen, I can wonk out on that stuff, but I also think that because the industry does such a ridiculously, overemphasizing of like delivering alpha, of like, I'm
Yeah.
going to beat the market, which is so silly, that I feel like I go the opposite direction. But you're absolutely right. There are opportunities everywhere, right? When markets are going down, it's the end of the year and we're like, wow, maybe we should be thinking about converting to a Roth here because these values are down. All those things are
Oh
important.
yeah.
And you're right. We can't shortchange that. What are questions that people should ask new? They're going to go sit down with someone like you, a financial advisor. What are some of the questions that you think are important that the prospective client asks of any financial professional that they are talking to?
Well, I mean, it's the easy one to answer, but yes, I think, are you a fiduciary is very important. Follow the money first and
Mm-hmm.
foremost. Get it out of the way. How are you
Mm-hmm.
paid?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Go ahead and just attack that one head on, because I'm always more than happy to answer that question. And if you have someone that gives you a long-winded answer, you might want to look twice.
So, how are you paid? Are you a
Follow the money.
fiduciary? And then,
Yeah.
how about, well, give me a third one that you like, maybe a squishier one that people might not think about.
Yeah, it's like, what does planning work look like for you? Like, what should I expect from you when I'm talking about planning? How often do we meet?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want you to get into the smushy stuff of, what are your priorities when I tell you about my situation? I like the squishy stuff, but I can handle both. But I would say, don't be afraid to ask those questions. Like, I'll ask a prospect, what does it look like in a year for you to think this was a good idea to come work with me? What happens within our year together that you're like, yep, great idea? So ask your advisor that same thing. Like, what looks like a success? What do you look for in a relationship with a client? I mean, I'm interviewing clients as much as they're interviewing me.
Do you ever say, I have a no a-hole rule, or do you just know that, they can read between the lines when you know that?
I come, working at Abacus Wealth Partners, we are not shy. We are not for everyone. We believe in impact investing without giving up return. We believe that our clients understanding enough for them means they can be philanthropic. Every one of my clients has a donor advised fund. Every one of my clients is talking about not only their own estates and their children's inheritance, but how they can make a difference. So when a client comes into me and they're only focused on beating the S&P 500, they can go elsewhere because we think in a different way than that. There's so much more we can do.
If you've got a question about a financial advisor, some sort of financial professional who's been trying to sell you something, or maybe you've been working with someone for a long time, you're wondering, do I need this person? Is this person worth it? Should I do it on my own? Am I really able to do it on my own? All these questions come up all the time. Just go to our website, jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us the note, and if you'd like to join us live, just check the box. Mark will do everything else. And I love talking to you guys live, especially when it is about a financial advisor that you have, because I can hear from your tone sometimes the anxiety that you're carrying, or maybe a blind spot that we can identify. So get in touch with us. Again, jillonmoney.com. Contact Us button is in the upper right-hand corner. You can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. Mark Talercio is the co-host, executive producer, and king of all things web. We're distributed by Paramount Skydance, and we drop our episodes on the weekends. Try to do something nice for someone else today. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week.